Oh.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I need the hot lap up, don't I?
You do indeed.
Practice before you set up the party, actually. Oh, that's the wrong stream. That's the wrong video. There we are.
Wrong stream, wrong video. Aha!
There we are. Ah, go on, I'll put League of You 4 minutes in. Why not? Campbell won? What? Oh, and there's the invite out. Goodness me. Very early.
Did I get an invite? I did!
You did?
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow!
I'm first into the lobby. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I feel blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. You're second in.
I'm second in that.
Goodness me.
Oh, I like Cohen's part of QVR.
He is part of QVR.
Q. He has a Q as his icon. Oh,
yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
QVR cover.
You just got a default one.
Yeah, I've got a default one. I can't be bothered to change it. I don't even know how you change it, to be honest.
Oh, you do it in your profile.
Can I go on view profile and then... Oh no. Ah, terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Right. Send my part of the thing in. Ah, I like how you go on YouTube now within the app and it says edit channel and manage videos. Ah.
Did it not do that before?
No, they must have updated the app on iPad.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
What am I doing? Send this in to Tom.
Yes.
Where is he? Oh, we've got another absence. Recon not racing due to work. So who's not racing? Let's have a look. M Short, Yochum, whoever Yochum is. Medium Pilot won't be able to make it tonight. Interesting. Wow. Unbelievable scenes. Coin Venom. Amazing, now we're in. Lovely jubbly.
God. You seen, you've heard of Tom Brooks, right?
Tom Brooks.
Yeah. Normally alongside Jimmy Broadbent.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's only gone and got an actual commentary booth in his house.
Really?
Like, yeah. Yeah.
How can you afford
seriously.
something like that?
Well, I mean, I guess you can afford something like that. Well, he's going racing, so I guess he can afford it. So,
Can I... Hang on.
he
Tom's
races
saying...
in,
Tom's saying, could you both press the spectate button at the same time once?
at the same time.
At the same time.
Ready, James? Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
Not quite. Alright. Alright. We'll try it again, Tom. We'll try it again. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, yes.
Was that good enough?
That was nigh on perfect, that.
Others in the lobby will be like, what the hell are they doing?
It'd be like, oh, these are the two weird commentators that are going to be racing tonight to fill in as reserves.
Oh, God, yeah.
Can you imagine that? Goodness me. We get 19th out of 19. And you'll be 18th out of 19.
Hello, Tom. Good to see you again.
Combi Kermy. Oh, that's gonna be a mouthful to say.
Combi.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. Make it as easy as possible with these names.
Everyone should have 1 to 2 invites now. Please let me know if you haven't. Yeah, if anybody is tuning in on my end of the stream or Kieran's end, and we're on your friends list, we can give you an invite. So don't worry.
Why I won't be able to, because, not to be mean, but you're not my friend. Well, yeah, I haven't added you on the friends list, so I won't be able to do it. Right, so what have we got? We got French Grand Prix tonight, British Grand Prix next week.
Oh, yes.
Then it's Belgium, Singapore, Japan, break, Mexico, Abu Dhabi.
Ooh. Mexico. Mexico next week? Oh, bloody hell.
No, you're getting ahead of yourself, James.
Britain
Really looking
next
forward
week.
to season 3.
Yeah, Britain next week. Goodness me. Oh. Britain next week. On my birthday week. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it is. It is. Right, let me get the video up.
Chapelle-Élysée. I think it's a good point of us setting up Cohen setting up the lobby early because we can get people in. And hopefully everyone has done their game updates.
Yes.
I came on at 6:30 imagining, it's going to take like an hour and a half to get it done. Oh, and it took half an hour. If that. Really surprised. Keep that in every week, please, so I can sync the streams. Ah, okay. That's what it's for.
I knew what it was for. No, seriously. Oh, Sweden have scored like instantly against France. What is going on with France?
Deary me.
4 minutes. Sweden are 1-0 up. What is going on with France?
They don't really like November, December type of football. Like, their form isn't that great in the winter compared to summer. Like spring, summer. Children needs now raise £41 million.
Wow. Only
unbelievable.
They've actually done half of that, which they wouldn't have.
Yeah. In the face of 2020's challenges, how we know.
How we know it.
Division 1 is live. The stream is up, so it's fantastic. Oh, there's the tweet as well, just came through. My name before yours, as always. Oh, I had a problem retweeting that. There we go. Jobs are good.
You got your hot lap ready, yeah?
Oh yes, I'll get that ready on my YouTube.
Get that ready, and then I'll throw it over to you. What should the queue be? What was it last week? I can't remember now.
We went in. I think you did the standings before we went into the hot lap. I would prefer hot lap before standings, personally.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
Just makes it seem nicer, I think, for the viewers. That's what I'm thinking.
And I'll sort of say, like, and speaking of the French Grand Prix, let's join. Let's hand over to James, who'll take us around for a lap or something like that.
Yeah, and then I can do like a brief, and then Tom can roll the video. I'll wait about 3 seconds, and then Tom can roll the video, and then I'll be rolling on my end.
Yeah.
Job's a good one. And then I don't have to do like a very long introduction of about 30 seconds that way.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Right. If we've got that, then I suppose then, Tom, are you good to go? Give us the goats. Can you put 3 goats to include me? Because obviously we've done 2 goats for you two.
Or just put in 20 goats for our drivers. Oh, Yarham's back.
Yaham.
Yarham, yeah. He's been missing the last couple of weeks, I think.
Yes, he has.
Good to see him back. Fantastic. There we are. The goats are in.
3 goats.
And he's ready.
Right then. I say then let's get an earlier intro so we can get everything in without sort of squeezing towards the start of qualifying.
Yep.
Okay. James, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We know Mr. Tom is ready, so without further ado, have a good stream, everybody. French Grand Prix does have some good action. I know I was there on Sunday for AOR, so I know it promises good action. So let's see how we go. But anyway, as always, with tradition, 10 seconds. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to TT Masters League. Obviously, it's the second season, the first division, and the 5th round of the season, which takes us to the Paul Ricard circuit for the French Grand Prix. A big welcome to you all for this 5th round of the championship, and of course I couldn't be here without my commentating partner. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box is the lovely, the fantastic, the gets his D's out of the French words he's about to pronounce. It's the lovely Mr. James Head. James, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well, thank you, Kieran. Hopefully I will be able to get my D's out tonight. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. And of course, hopefully you're all enjoying the action here. Hopefully you're enjoying the intros as well. I do work about 50 seconds on them. So hopefully you are enjoying them as much as you possibly can. But James, we head now to the Paul Ricard circuit. First race here in 1971, won by somebody called Jackie Stewart. Never heard of him. But anyway, obviously the Paul Ricard circuit has been, how will you say, relatively unchanged over the years, apart from that big chicane right in the middle of the Mistral Straight.
Yeah, of course, that is Le Chicane Nord. I'm going to be ruining that, I think, during the night, but that is the part of the chicane where it splits the Mistral Straight, and the Mistral Straight obviously split into 2 through turn 7 and then up the run towards that flat out through turn 10. Be very interesting to see how these drivers get on track tonight, and it's going to be a fascinating night of action, I think.
It is indeed, and of course if you're new to the stream, welcome along to you. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel down below, hit the notification bell so you never miss another race ever again. And James, speaking of the French Grand Prix, it's probably an idea to get us around a lap of this track just so we know what to expect. So Mr. James Head, take it away with the hot lap.
Yeah, hot lap indeed, and we go on board with Division 3, with the Division 3 driver Tekken. 14 races to his name, 270 points, 4 wins and 8 podiums. Of course, he was the Division 5 champion from TTML last season as well, which I had the privilege to commentate over. 15 turns await him out on track, and it's going to be fascinating to see how he gets on with this relatively flat track. On the run down then, past this extended start-finish line, down in towards turn 1. Of course, he is using the Mercedes, and now through turn 1 and 2. It'll be very difficult to get actually a valid lap in through turns 1 and 2. If you fling out wide through turn 2, you will pick up an invalidation. Just braking just before the 50-metre board at turn 3, and then through turn 4, and then through turn 5 towards the end of the first sector split. And that is the first sector pretty much over and done with, as he now comes through turn 6 and 7, and then on to Le Mistral Straight. And this is in excess of 200 mile an hour running down down towards Le Chicane Nord, which of course is the next corners out on track. That is turns 8 and 9 on this infamous circuit, this eyesore that people like to call here out on track. But through turns 8 and 9, and then up the run towards turn 10, up the second half now of the Mistral Straight, this flat out right-hander is up and coming. And this is another pinch point, I think, on the circuit where you could see overtakes, but you could also see some spins as well, especially if drivers have an unstable setup. Now coming through turns 11 and turn 11, this flat 180 degree right-hander. Of course, you brake on the wide out line, try and get the apex in. Then through turn 12, and Tekken looking very good through there as he now runs through turn 13. Famous. The pit lane has changed recently in 2018, where they've obviously added the new pit lane coming off the final 2 corners, and now through the final corner for Tekken, and that is pretty much a lap as he opens up the DRS now, and that is a lap of the Circuit Paul Ricard, which I think you referred to as Circuit Paul Blizzard on Sunday.
I did indeed, in good stead of Blizzard himself. He loves this track, and there aren't many drivers that love this track as much as he does. But we're focusing here on TT Masters League, of course, the 5th round of the championship here, which, as James has just taken us for a flying lap around the circuit, is a little bit of an eye-catching circuit, that is to say the least. But let's take you through the championship standings. Let's start first of all with the drivers' standings. So at the top of the table, you can see there, Medium Pilot on 108 points, already got a healthy 40-point lead over Perpetuum in 2nd place. It's M Short to round out the top 3. Twitch Lemon has had a really good run of form recently. He's boosted him all the way up to 4th place. Other notable drivers there, Matthias is now draw level with Carlsbury for joint 8th place. Amadi then rounds out the top 10. To take you through the constructor standings, it's Mercedes at the top. There's a surprise, 121 points for them. Red Bull in 2nd on 81. Then it is AlphaTauri, McLaren and Ferrari all within 10 points of each other. Haas in 6th place with Racing Point 7th. Williams in 8th. Alfa Romeo 9th. And Renault at the bottom of the table there on 21 points. Exactly 100 points behind our constructors leaders in Mercedes. And of course the French Grand Prix then, taking a look at a full map of the circuit. We've got 27 laps coming up and located at Le Castellet in France, 5.842 kilometres, an average race distance around about 157.7 kilometres. And as you've just taken a lap around the circuit with James, obviously it's a circuit that does pride itself on being a test track. So when we came here, one of its 160 odd layouts had to be chosen, and James, this is the one they chose.
This is the one they chose, and to be honest, it is a formidable Grand Prix circuit. Of course, they use this within the GT3s, the World Endurance Championship as well. The European Le Mans Series has used this recently as well this season. But we are here for one reason and one reason only, and that's of course for Formula 1. And this track really poses quite a threat, I think, through a very technical turn 4 and 5, which can catch people out. As I said, turn 2 as well, catching out possibly for invalidations. There are several pinch points on the circuit, I think, as well, for overtaking and indeed for spinning. Turn 10, I think turn 12 could be a point as well for a bit of overtaking, and then turn 15. Don't be surprised if you see somebody going around the outside through the final corner, prioritising that traction and then opening up the DRS to get that position done. That's already a prediction that I've made, and I hope it comes true.
Well, we're about to wait and see, as you won't be able to see it, but the lobby is starting to count down. We've got 15 drivers with us here tonight, but we've got a French Grand Prix, James, that promises to deliver some great action. It has been done in the past.
It does promise to be a great action. Of course, we've got brand new drivers in, like Amazing Hour, like Cohen as well. Medium Pilot, a noticeable absentee here tonight. So it is really all to play for, and good luck to everyone that is out on track tonight.
Absolutely, but we now start loading in and getting ourselves ready for this French Grand Prix here at the circuit Paul Ricard. And obviously those blue and red bits of tarmac there, that fiberglass will be looking to try and get drivers out of the wall as an alternative to the gravel. But in the meantime, let's get things underway for tonight's French Grand Prix. The 5th round of TT Masters League Division 1 takes us to Le Castellet for the French Grand Prix here at the circuit Paul Ricard. We've been to the French Grand Prix in many places such as Manicourt and even the Bugatti circuit at the Le Mans circuit, but we only ever went there once, and I wonder why. But here we're back at the Paul Ricard circuit, the first race here in 1971, and that was won by one Jackie Stewart in his Tyrrell 003. A lot's changed since then, including that long chicane down the Mistral Straight to try and slow the cars down before they make their way towards that third sector. As you can see here, 5.8 kilometres takes us round this Paul Ricard circuit, which has been famed and tested, tried and tested that is, with its 168 odd layouts. Of course, we're using this layout today, which takes us around a good mix of high-speed straights and high-speed corners, as well as the traditional low-speed chicanes and hairpins that every circuit has to have. And here we are for the qualifying session for the 5th time this season. James, there's been an update in this game, hasn't there? There's been an update with our commentary box. At long last, we've got something new.
We do have something new, of course, from the patch yesterday that was released, 1.13. We do have penalties within the spectator menu, and that's going to be important for us, certainly, to try and keep track of who's got what penalties. Now, they only show as the white and the black flag, essentially, noticing that they've got penalties. So we would still have to go through the race director and tell you how many penalties people have got, but I've got no problem with that.
No, and hopefully it gives us a better idea of what the results are going to be like when the black and white diagonal flags play into effect. When the black and white checkered flag shows, Ahmadi then is first out onto the circuit and making his way into the top 10 of the standings so far. And if you're new to TT Masters League, of course, we have an alternate point scoring system. 30 points for the race winner, and more importantly, James, 2 points for pole position, which has been rather dominated by one man and one man alone.
Yeah, one man missing tonight, Medium Pilot. So that 2 points is really up for grabs from everyone. I would honestly say keep an eye out for Perpetuum, keep an eye out for Neo, I think, could be on for pole position. Amazing, that was quite quick. But we've got a new driver that I'm focusing on in particular, Kvyat Cohen. He has come from League of Europe Division 1, which I commentate on a Saturday night. A little bit of self-promotion there. But he is a really quick and consistent driver. He's going to be in there, I think, along the mix of Killer Blue, Venom, the likes. He's going to be around that sort of pace, I think.
Well, we're seeing Ahmadi here, who's invalidated his lap and comes straight back into the pit lane. So we've got Chapalele now, who's going around that long turn 11, and I've got the other Alfa Romeo of Amazing Hour, who's now making his way towards that start-finish line. And of course, James, it's such a tricky track to master. Although there's not much undulation in terms of the grand scheme of things, turns 1 and 2 alone probably has the most undulation you can see around the track.
Yeah, turn 1 and 2, I think, honestly, is going to be one of those points where it makes or breaks a lap at the start of the lap. Because if you run wide through turn 2, you will pick up an invalidation. If you run through the curb at turn 1, you will pick up an invalidation, especially at a track like this as well. Track limits are going to be really key, I think, out on track. Amazing Now, I believe, has just gone onto the Mistral Straight.
Yes, he has, as he now makes his way on towards that chicane. No, as you rightly put it there, James, flying in through turns 8 and 9, as you then make your way towards turn 10. Now, of course, James, the run up to turn 10 doesn't have any DRS whatsoever. So how does that change a driver's perspective going into this long right-hander of 10 and in towards 11?
They've got to try and set them up, to be honest, going through turn 12, and they've got to have a balanced setup coming through this part of the circuit. I mean, I'm over with Cohen now. He's coming through turn 10 and 11, looking very stabilised on his setup. But if you have just that little bit of aero prevalence, a disadvantage through there, it will really cost you on a lap.
Here we go then, the Alfa Romeo is going to be the first person to set a lap time in this qualifying session. We've followed him all the way around. Let's see where Amazing Hour can put that car on the grid then, and what time hour. And to be honest with you, we're kind of looking at the low 27 from some of the top drivers, and maybe even potentially dropping into the 26s, although you know, some of the top talent we've seen over the past few years have barely made it into the 26s. So low 27 is a very respectable time to set around here.
Yeah, low 27s I think is going to be the key. I think 27.2 possibly out on track we could see. Cohen has just had a 27.9, so good lap from him. Carlsbury has just gone on to a lap as well. Neo, interestingly, on a set of mediums. He's now coming through turn 11 and then coming towards turn 12. This Racing Point, of course, looking to try and set a good pole position lap. But on this tyre, I think he'll be going around Varkey's sort of area, the 130 flat. It's about a 2-second advantage from a turnaround onto the mediums to the softs around this track, so really noticeable gains.
Well, Lemon comes across the line then, sets a 28.8. Meanwhile, the Racing Point of Killer Blue, 29.0 from that Racing Point. The other Racing Point of Neo, 28.5 on a set of medium tyres, and they're all not bad lap times to be setting at this early point in this qualifying session. A big welcome to everybody who's tuning in there. I see the former commentator partner Andy Campbell in the chat there as Perpetuum 27.3 from the AlphaTauri puts him straight to the top of the standings. So a great big welcome to you, Andy. Welcome back, I should say as well. Amazing Hour also in the chat. So I hope he's not texting and driving at the same time. He's currently second place in that 27.7. A big welcome to you in the chat there. Slimbo saying, good luck, Andrew. Take no prisoners. Well, I don't know about that one. However, we'll have to see how that one goes. We've got Simon in the chat there as well. Let's go. And also a big supporter of Leonis as well. And that, of course, will be for Amazing Hour, who's currently there in second place. And Macca Stewart is Amazing Hour. Good luck to him. Well, a lot of love and support for Amazing Hour out there. And currently second place for the debutant.
Yeah, second place from the debutant, and we've seen him so far in EML, in Esports Masters League, where he's been really quick, the LR man, and I have no doubt that he's going to be up towards the top end of the field here tonight. He's currently in second, but Perpetuum with that lap, that is going to take some sort of beating, especially if Perpetuum can find another couple of tenths on that lap. I think Perpetuum might have already secured pole position, you know.
Well, that's very early words here, James, as Legend now makes his way in through turn 11, now onwards towards turn 12, as Dan Morris is in the chat as well. Perpetuum for the win. Well, currently at the top of the standings in qualifying. He puts himself in that prime position to take advantage, and Amazing Hour confirms that he's not texting and driving. A very, very good sign. Legend now making his way through the final corner, through 15, and of course trying to get up to third gear in order to reduce the wheel spin on the exit, and Legend coming across the line. It's a 28.3. That start-finish line is a lot further down that finish straight than you realise. It's caught me out again, and I was only here on Sunday.
Yeah, they did make a change to this in 2019, and that's why it's been reflected. Varkey just catching on board with an improvement there, 29.3 on a set of mediums. Good lap from him. I think we've got Cagino and Schiaparelli also on laps, both again on a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, the tyre wear around this track, if I'm not mistaken, from F1 2019 was something like 5% per lap. And I talk about this every single commentary that we do together. 5% a lap is quite violent, I think, in terms of the tyre deck, but especially around a flat track like this, you're really going to feel the effects going through the corners.
Well, absolutely. Schiaparelli now makes his way on towards Chicane Noir as he brakes hard then for turns 8 and 9, trying to fly through on those medium tyres, riding aboard with the Alfa Romeo driver as he now tries to tackle the upward stretch towards turn 10. There is Legend pulling to one side to let the Alfa Romeo driver through. Schiaparelli full throttle through there, especially on the medium tyres. That's a bit sketchy, but he's got it all under control here. Now in towards turn 11, a little bit of trail braking. You've got to try and master that through turn 11 because you want to carry as much speed as possible through there and try and let the aero do the work. Through turn 12 and then onwards towards 13, you'll see a lot of drivers using that curve on the right-hand side and qualifying, but then trying to stay away from it during the race because it does exacerbate that tyre wear you get during the race. Here comes Schiaparelli towards the line then. Lovely exit out of turn 15 and onwards towards the start-finish line. What's this going to be for Schiaparelli for his first lap of the qualifying session? A 28.8, which puts him onto the 4th row of the grid, 7th place.
Yeah, not too bad. He can find a lot of improvement, I think, on that time as well. We're nearly halfway through qualifying. Perpetuum on top, Amazing Hour second, Cohen in third. I believe Amazing Hour's just started up on a lap. He's 500s up, but he gets very tetchy coming out of turn 6 and then through turn 7. So now Amazing Hour on the run down the straight. In excess of 200 mile an hour here for the Australian, and not looking too bad so far. He might have just lost a little bit of time after that slight half moment, but Amazing Hour into the chicane Nord. here at Le Castellet in France. I'm sure Kieran butchered that once or twice earlier on in the commentary.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wouldn't be me if I didn't.
Amazing now, actually finding a tenth of a second through this middle sector. The clouds are beginning to build over this part of the track, now through turn 11 for Amazing Hour, going very nice. This 180-degree corner, you might think of it as two corners, it's not. Coming now through turn 12, again a wide exit, then a very deep entry into the corner, catching the apex nicely. I think though how far he's run wide there, he might have just invalidated that lap, but he's still going to continue on nonetheless. An Amazing Hour through the final corner as the conditions really begin to change here in France. Amazing Hour trying to beat Pepetton's lap time over 27.3. What's his time? 27.5. Tenth and a half off in second.
Yeah, nice lap time though from Amazing Hour. It gets him much closer to that pole position he wanted. Meanwhile, Cohen is third place at the moment, 27.999. You couldn't get closer to the 28 if you tried, but he now flies his way through turn 12. Just looking at his steering wheel there, he is in hot lap mode, and as you say, James, that cloud is really starting to build up towards the end of qualifying here. Cohen, meanwhile, makes his way through turn 15. Bit of a lock up on the front right as he tries to make his way through that final corner, and now on to that start-finish straight. Is this going to be an improvement for the Renault driver? And it is by about a tenth of a second. 27.8 now is the new personal best from Cohen.
Pepetton improving tenth and a half up in the middle sector, now coming through turn 14, and the AlphaTauri looking fantastic out on track. It's been such a clean lap as well as he comes flying out the final corner now. Expect an improvement, maybe even a 26.9, but I don't think he'll get to that. Across the line, 27 flat. It's close enough. He goes quickest and improves by just over 0.2 of a second as well. 7 minutes ago, Pepetton on top. Amazing Hour second, Cohen in third. Carlsbury not responding. He's also got onto a set of mediums though, which is quite interesting. I wonder if there's a threat of rain at the end of this session.
Could be at the end of this session, but if that was the case, you'd see a lot of drivers just trying to pump in those option tyres. We haven't used the word option for about 7 years now. However, he's on those medium tyres. You'd be expecting to go onto the soft tyres if the rain was starting to fall down onto the circuit. So that tells me that there's possibly a chance that rain will be towards the end of the race, if anywhere, because it looks like drivers want to extend the first stint. And just as I say that, rain is starting to fall here at the circuit Paul Ricard with just over 6 minutes to go. That track does get quite greasy very quickly, especially at the French Grand Prix.
Is that a James Head prediction? That's already come right as well, me predicting the rain?
Don't get too ahead of yourself, James. We've still got a lot of the stream to go to get you wrong, so there's plenty of opportunities for that one. But with less than 6 minutes to go, the threat of rain has hit qualifying here, and so DRS is still open, it's still online, so drivers will try and finish off their laps at the moment, but it could be a little bit of a washout towards the end of this one. There's 3 or 4 drivers that haven't set a lap time. Amity retired very early on in this session, but Venom, Yaram and Combi all haven't set lap times yet in this session. They've left it very late, and with the rain hitting now, this is not really the ideal time when they wanted that rain to hit, because that track is going to be greasy as they're on their flying lap. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I was on board with Combi. He came across the start-finish line pretty much when the rain began to fall, and he's now coming through turn 11 out on track. It's not looking too bad in terms of the sector times, but expect in the next 5 minutes or so this track to really turn wet, and expect quite a few retirements and maybe even an early end to the qualifying session as Combi now comes through turn 13. As soon as I say that, Carlsbury is retired, I think, in the pit lane as now Combi comes through. Chapelelli retires in the pit lane. See, they know what they're doing. Combi ran the final corner, aiming to improve on his time. Yellow flag through the final sector is for people retiring in the pit lane, but Combi across the line goes 7th, 28.5. But look, he's a little way off those times. I wonder if he would have committed earlier, possibly on a set of soft compound of tyres. 28.5, he's there in amongst Neo, who's the top medium runner.
Yeah, we've got Venom, meanwhile, who's invalidated his lap time, and that's not what you want to be doing at this point.
Legend has spun through turn 6. You can tell how greasy the track is. He's just spun through turn 6. Didn't really catch on board with the spin, but we just saw him to the right-hand side of the track. He was on a down lap, I think, at the time, but a 28.2. I honestly don't think we're going to see any improvements now.
No, it's getting to that point now where the track's just a little bit too greasy, but Yaram and Venom still have to set some sort of lap time in this session. Here comes Yaram then. What's an impressive lap about Combi is that, 28.5, he out-qualified Shapalele, and Shapalele there was on the medium tyres. Let's just bring up those tyres for you. So Combi on the soft tyres, 28.5, and that was in sort of rain-affected conditions. Shapalele, bone-dry track, medium tyres. That's going to be crucial for Combi because that time doesn't look like it's going to get beaten. Now Yaram invalidates his lap time and actually retires from the qualifying session. We've got a Renault coming back into the pit lane as well in Venom. So Combi is out there, Legend also out there. But to be honest with you, I think the last sort of 2 minutes of qualifying could be a little bit of a washout here unless drivers are willing to go onto the intermediate tyres. Well, there's Amazing Hour, who's actually gone a tenth quicker through... sorry, no, that's not Sector 1 just yet, but we'll see. Oh, there he goes, right around on the exit of Turn 5 there. And that's the ever-present danger of these tricky conditions. Legend coming back into the pit lane. Combi as well. He'll eventually find his way back into the pits there. Lemon is found himself around as well. Goes through some advertising board. So it's fair to say that we're not going to see many improvements at all as drivers start to filter out of this qualifying session. So I think we can safely say that the 2 points are going the way of Perpetuum in the AlphaTauri, 27.0 on pole position by almost half a second before that rain hit. Amazing Hour rounding off the front row. It's Cohen and Carlsbury on row number 2, Legend and Leo on row 3, Combi and Shapalele on row 4, Lemon and Kugino on row 5, Killer Blue and Vaki on row 6, Amadi and Venom in row 7, and Yaram on his lonesome on row number 8. But that could be a telling sign, James. We've got all those tyres there, and you can see first to fifth on soft tyres. Legend set his best lap time on 3-lap-old soft tyres. That's going to come back to bite him as Lemon gets a big amount of oversteer on the exit of 9.
Will, especially if it's going to be dry running at the start of the race. So Legend will be hoping his tyres will be slightly fresher than those guys ahead. But those guys ahead, Perpetuum, Mason Hour, Cohen and Carlsbury, as I'm watching Twitch Lemon really get sideways coming through turn 10. Those guys on a set of soft compound of tyres are really going to be at an advantage, I think, compared to Legend, who's behind him. Combi, obviously, down there in 7th. Matthias has just joined into the lobby as well. So we're back up to 16 drivers, I believe, as well, which is fantastic. We're just waiting on Twitch Lemon to eventually make it round out on track, and then Venom to retire in the pit lane. But, as I say, that's pretty much the end of qualifying. And another prediction that James Head got right tonight. Perpetuum on pole. Nobody beat his time.
No, and obviously in this washout of a qualifying session, nobody will now as Twitch Lemon makes his way back to the pit lane with 60 seconds to spare. No one deciding to at least attempt to go out there in these very treacherous conditions, and why would you? If there's no rain expected in the race, then that's why no drivers have been out there setting times on intermediates. You would have at least seen at least 1 or 2 drivers maybe get some wet running if they were expecting rain in the race. But that's pretty much going to be it for qualifying. We've got a couple of seconds on the clock before the checker flag is due to fall. Either that or Venom to retire, whichever one happens first. But James, when we head towards the French Grand Prix then, Perpetuum scoring 2 points now. Can he get his championship back on track?
I think he can. Medium Pilot obviously being a noticeable absentee. I will take you through the running order, though, in qualifying. It's Perpetuum on top, Amazing Hour second, Cohen in third. Carlsbury rounding off the second row of the grid in fourth. Legend in fifth. Then the sort of medium runners, basically. Neo in sixth. Combi on a set of softs in seventh. Shapalele in eighth. Twitch Lemon in ninth. Kugino in 10th. Killer Blue in 11th. Vaki 12th. I'm a D. Venom, the two Scots. And Yaram not setting any times out on track. And to come back to that point, I think Perpetuum can get his championship back on track. I mean, he finished second in Baku last week in that tremendous Grand Prix in Azerbaijan, and he finished second to Medium Pilot. There's no Medium Pilot here. He's 40 points coming into tonight behind. Medium Pilot not being here. Perpetuum picking up 2 points, so he's on 70. He's only 38 points behind him. Maximum win is 30 points. He might not get him, but he's certainly going to be within 5 or 6 points, I think, if he wins this.
Yeah, he'll want to go for the Grand Slam, won't he? He's got pole position, so what's left of the Grand Slam is the race win and the fastest lap to boot. Remember, the fastest lap bonus point is awarded to anybody who gets the checker flag, regardless of their finishing position. All you have to do is set a purple lap time and get to the checkered flag, and that bonus point is yours. So we head into the race now here at the French Grand Prix, And one thing to note in the rulebook, half of this race are starting on the medium tyre, which means they're starting on a quote-unquote non-mandatory tyre. Now, what's different about the medium tyre starters than it is the soft tyre starters is that soft tyres have to pit anyway. They can choose either the medium or the hards to get them to the end. If they're starting on the soft, chances are they're going to go to the hard tyres and try and log it out to the end of the race. However, with the medium tyre runners, their options are a little bit limited. They've got to run a mandatory tyre, which is a medium tyre or hard tyre, but that's the set that's given to them in the race. So the medium tyres they're starting on aren't a mandatory tyre. It's caught out drivers before, but what it means is they have to run the hard tyre. Because if they run the soft tyre, if they run 2 stints of softs, they won't have actually used all the mandatory tyres necessary. If they run medium, well, that can't be possible. You need to run 2 compounds of dry tyre. So, in effect, the drivers will have to run the hard tyre at some point in this race. What the medium tyre starters will be hoping for is a safety car, because that means they could then go onto the hard tyres, and if it's towards the end of the race, they can switch back to the medium tyres, because at that point, they'll have used mandatory tyres and also 2 compounds of tyres. Everybody get that? Good. Here we go on the formation lap.
Here we go indeed, and looking down the bottom half of the field, majority of the guys going on a set of hard compound of tyres, as Kieran says. Killer Blue, Varkey, Imad and Venom all going on for a set of hard compound of tyres. Yarum on a set of softs, Matthias on a set of medium compound of tyres. If somebody's tuning in, by the way, on my end of the stream, go and tune in to League Racing TV. That's where all the action really is. Bit of self-promotion there. Go and join that stream. Don't come into mine. But focusing on Matthias as well, late into the session, not setting a qualifying lap, he's chosen a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, these mediums, I think, can get you around the halfway stage, but it's going to be fascinating, I think, to see how these guys do actually get on. And also, one point, I've noticed that we've got the penalties now within the detailed section of the spectator menu. So if you want to find the penalties, you can.
Absolutely, and that point I made on the medium tyres is those starting on a set of mediums that set that time in qualifying. So anyone outside of the top 10 is already starting on a mandatory tyre. Apart from Yarum, he's starting on the softs, but that's a fresh set of softs, so we expect him to be using mediums or hards, preferably the hards towards the end of the race, because then that will actually get him to the end of this race. So the likes of Neo, the likes of Chapalele, the likes of Lemon and the likes of Coutinho are starting on a set of medium tyres that are not the mandatory set. They get another set of medium tyres which are the mandatory set, and they will either have to use those or the hard tyres at some point in this race. For Perpetuum, though, he's already got 2 points on the board. He's already cut down that championship lead by those 2 points to 38. What would another 30 do, I wonder? Maybe even a fastest lap as well. Amazing Hour on debut, putting it on the front row as well. Cohen in 3rd place. Carlsbury lining up in 4th. He's a quick driver, Carlsbury. Had a little bit of a tepid start this season, but never ever count him out. Legend starting on 3-lap old soft tyres. Watch out for him towards the early stages. He might fade away quicker than you think. Neo, the highest medium runner right now. Combi in 7th. Chapalele in 8th. Lemon in 9th. And Coutinho rounding out the top 10. Meanwhile, though, we are moments away from this French Grand Prix. And it is 5 red lights. We're underway in France. It's a great start there from Perpetuum. Not quite a great start for Amazing Hour. He might find himself vulnerable from Cohen here. We make our way now for the first time in towards the first turn. There's Cohen trying to go up the inside of the Alfa Romeo of Amazing Hour. There's a little bit of contact between them. The Renault falls down the order, and it's too wide now as we head our way now down towards turn 3. That's Legend trying to have a look up the inside of Cohen here as we make our way through. He's got the move done. Now we're making our way in through turn 4. Now in towards turn 5. That Renault is simply going nowhere at the moment. Through turn 6 we go. Perpetuum still leads. That's Amazing Hour still in 2nd. Carlsbury, good start from him. He's up to 3rd place. Legend just about holds on ahead of Cohen right now as we now make our way down the first part of the Mistral Straight, heading towards Chicane Nord, down towards turns 8 and 9. Is that a chance for Cohen to try and move up the inside? No, it is not. Meanwhile, right behind them, Chapalele's had a move on Yarum.
Trying to go around the outside, and actually Coutinho's run into the back, I think, of Lemon. It's now 3 wide as Chapalele, I think, could get both of them running up the hill and towards turn 10. He can try and get the move done around the outside. Coutinho's on his inside line, but Coutinho, I think, has right away the corner. He's just about there. Chapalele still trying to fight on the outside line. Tries to switch in. There's Yarum on the inside. It's 3 wide coming through turn 11. They've got to be careful, these guys. And Yarum, on a set of soft compound of tyre, minces the both of them right around the outside. And Yarum is through, and he's up into 9th. How's that for opportunistic?
How's that for opportunistic indeed? Meanwhile, Venom here is all over the back of some drivers. We've got Legend who's straight into the pit lane, and no doubt those old tyres will have something to play a part in those ones. So Perpetuum, of course, setting the fastest lap of the race. He's the first one towards the line there as we now make our way towards turn 1. And all around there, relatively clean. Doesn't look like there's any damage to any of the cars out there.
No, just quite a few drivers running wide coming through turn 1. Varkey got caught out with a little bit of a mistake with Matthias. Chapelletti, I think, has got Cagino through turn 1. Matthias has also got I'm a D coming through turn 1 as well, as Cagino picks up the first 3-second time penalty of the night. And you can see on my end that the black and white flag has now popped up, which means that driver has now got a 3-second time penalty out on track. Combi's through on Neo as well.
Yes, he is. A nice, easy move in towards turn 5, making those soft tyres go the extra mile that he needs. But Neo's not going to let this one go lying down. He's looking for a move up the inside into 8, but Combi's pretty much got the racing line there. But look who's joined the party. Lemon trying to now challenge that racing point. Yaram in 8th place as well, making his really return back towards the seat of that Alpha Tower. We've missed him for a couple of weeks now, but he's back, and he's now currently in 8th place.
Venom closing in on Killer Blue, using a bit of overtake mode to try and get close towards turn 10. But I don't think he's close enough for the move. He's right on the back. Varkey as well, and I'm a D. I'm a D has now dropped down past Varkey. And Venom, typically, as I go off on board, Venom's got the move done on Killer Blue. We just called that in the nick of time. Venom is through and he's up into 11th. Matthias immediately closes up to the back as well. But look at the gap the top 3 have pulled out. 3 seconds between Carlsbury and Cohen. Cohen's had a shocker of a start.
He has, but he's been under pressure from Combi as well as Neo behind as well. So he's focused rather on behind him than what's ahead of him. And that's allowed, as you say, the top 3 to pull away. DRS is now online and will be first used down the Mistral Straight for the first time in this race. Perpetuum leads then, Amazing Hour in 2nd, Carlsbury in 3rd. Meanwhile, Matthias, of course, don't forget about him. Didn't take part in qualifying whatsoever. Started down in P16. Now up to 12th place with that latest move on Killer Blue.
Yeah, down the inside through turn 1, the medium runners certainly beginning to come into play. Matthias, of course, has got the fresher tyres compared to pretty much everyone out on track, so he's going to be making good ground through this field. Yaram is right on the back of Lemon as well. The sister cars are about to go at it down the Mistral Straight, as now Lemon tries to force him to the left-hand side. Yaram, though, has got that nose in front. He's got 3/4 of the car in front, and he's now got the full car in front as Yaram takes 7th position off Lemon. Very easy move, and Varkey closing up right to the back of Killer Blue as well. Not close enough. Is Lemon going to have another go at Yaram?
We might do here on board with Lemon as we make our way now through turn 10. This is where that dirty air can hit, but still got that right foot straight to the floor. Lemon here. Is he going to try and move in towards 11? He might do, you know. He's up the inside of the Alpha Tower. Is there going to be enough space through there? Just about. Now heading our way in towards turn 12. He's still there, but Yaram manages to hold on for now. But Lemon is all over the back of that Alpha Tower right now. The Alpha Tower can't shake him at the moment as we head through 14 and then on our way now towards turn 15. It's been relatively clean this first lap here. Legend coming into the pit. He's rejoining 16th place. He's on a set of medium tyres, and no doubt those soft tyres at the very start of this race would have had something to play a factor in. Amazing Hour, meanwhile, has closed in on Perpetuum with the help of that DRS enabling on that last lap. He's pulling right up nice and close there. Yaram now with his first 3-second time penalty of the evening, and I'm pretty sure around a track like France, it will not be all of the drivers last there. It's not the last penalty we've seen around here.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of black and white flags appearing on the penalty screen, I think. But Combi right on the back of Cohen as well on the as they enter the Mistral straight through turn 7. Don't think he's going to be close enough unless he uses up his overtake mode to try and have a go here. He's running in the slipstream in excess of 200 miles an hour. He could have a go down the inside. He will have a go down the inside. Forces Cohen in for a late braking move as well, but Cohen hangs on to the position for 4th. Amazing Hour, though, is still on the back of Perpetuum. And I think with Amazing Hour currently, 4/10 of a second behind Perpetuum. He's pulling away from Carlsbury as well. The front two are just beginning to dominate, I think, affairs out in front. And Amazing Hour just seems to me as if he wants to go for one move that could probably seal it. He's all over the back of him.
He is, at the moment. Anyway, that's the problem, though. He might be taking a lot out of his tyres. We're seeing soft tyre runners go up to about lap 7, lap 8 before they dive into the pits. That's the earliest possible time they can switch on to sort of hard tyres and get those tyres to the end. And even then, they're going to be in puncture territory on the last lap, so they have to be so careful. They have to be so confident in their setup as well to not wear up those tyres. Meanwhile, Combi is on the back of Cohen then as we make our way on towards turn 1 once again for the 5th time in this this race. Combi in the McLaren, certainly looking for a move up the inside in towards 1, but Cohen has got the widest car in France here, that widest Renault he possibly can, as we now have that short run up towards turn 3. Combi just filling those Renault mirrors with a bit of papaya orange, now making our way through 4 and then in towards turn 5, and there you go, you can see he tries to take a different line, but that could encourage Neo to just try and stick a nose in, maybe to try and see what the McLaren driver does. Meanwhile though, we head now on towards this Mistral straight. Here comes Combi then with that DRS. Cohen, no DRS whatsoever. The McLaren moves to the left hand side of the track to take the inside line in towards 8, and he's got that move done there. McLaren moving up to 4th place. Cohen now down to 5th. Neo meanwhile manages to hold off Yaram, who had the DRS down that first part.
Yeah, Neo's actually right on the back of Cohen, and Cohen looks like he's struggling. These two old foes of Division 1 of League of Europe are about to go at it. These two have got a good rivalry in League of Europe, and Neo will be hoping to try and master the German, and there he is, actually down the inside of the Dutchman, I should say, and Neo was through. Cohen having no fight on those tyres, and Neo sails it down the inside of turn 12. Easy as you like, but the score will be settled later on in the race, as Cohen really has got a front blister, I think, on that tyre. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come into the pit lane, but he stays out and he's still fighting these positions, but he's losing a hell of a lot of time. Amazing hour as well on the back of Papetum, not close enough for the lead.
No, he's not, but look at that. Cohen is just dropping down the order at this moment in time. He's all the way now down into 8th place as he's losing so much time on those tyres. Next up is Chapelele, who will be wanting to try and take advantage. Cohen, again, no grip through turn 2. It's like he's driving on ice. Here we go, then down towards turn 3, and he's got another position lost. It's like he's driving on the Istanbul surface. Well, you can see here that is Coutinho trying a move up the inside now as we head in towards turn 6, and again he has got the move now, and that is Cohen all over the place. He is really struggling at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Neo is looking for a move on Combi. He's got the inside line now heading in towards turn 8. He's got that inside line. Has he got the move done though? That McLaren is trying to hold on as much as he can, but no, can't quite have enough grip to make that move stick, or at least try and keep up with that one. Chapelele meanwhile looking on at Lemon, who's right on the back of Yaram. Now we've already seen a move from him going in through turn 11. He almost taps the back of Yaram there. Is he going to try and move in towards 11 here? He might see if Yaram runs deep. He tries to go round the long way through turn 11, but not happening this time around, as Yaram does well to try and hang on. Yaram up into 6th place after that start. He's had a tremendous start in this race, really doing well. Chapelele meanwhile trying to make life difficult for Lemon in the Alfa Romeo right now. Lemon tries to move up the inside. Meanwhile, we've got 3 cars in the pits. We've got Papetum, Amazing Hour and Carlsbury in the pits. Meanwhile, Chapelele trying to go up the inside of Lemon, taps the back of him there, and he can't find his way through. Meanwhile, Cohen has come into the pits then, so he's binning off those tyres as the order all changes around. There's lots of drivers coming into the pits as we now make our way on towards the 7th lap of this race. That's all the soft tyre runners really coming into the pits and putting on a fresh set of hards to try and get them to the end of the race. Papetum and Amazing Hour onto the hard tyres. Carlsbury though on a set of softs, so he's going for a 2-stop here. Expect to see him on the medium tyres towards the end of this race, but we've seen 2 stops before. They haven't quite worked out the way they maybe should have or could have. There's a lot of overtaking you need to do on the 2-stop strategy, but on the 7th lap of this race, Neo is in the lead, but he's yet to stop, and there's battles everywhere you look. Here comes Lemon then, who's going to move up the inside of Chapelele in towards turn 8 there. He's got that move done. Chapelele is struggling here because Yaram is just about holding on as well, but look at this run that Chapelele's got. Look at that run with the ERS he's got. He's got the inside line in towards turn 10, flying all the way through. Bravery at its best, and Chapelele gets the move done. He's not done yet though. Through 11, he's got the inside line in towards 11, up the inside of the Red Bull, but he just runs out of grip. Can't quite make that one stick. Yaram manages to hold on there. Sorry, Lemon manages to hold on for 2nd place, but Chapelele, Yaram, Twitch Lemon, they've all got that fiery punch about them tonight.
Yeah, Yaram losing, actually. He runs wide, actually, coming into the pit lane. He lost 2 positions as a result. Lemon actually overtook on Yaram. Chapelele trying to get the move done as well on Yaram, and he got the move done, obviously. Amazing Hour and the likes have been into the pit lane as well. Matthias is on the back of Coutinho, trying to get quite close. Venom also trying to get quite close. He was Coutinho runs miles out wide through turn 1. This is going to give Matthias an excellent run. Now, coming down towards turn 3, he's on the inside line. I think, you know, the Austrian is going to have the move move done on the German, and job done for Matthias, and he's through and he's up into 4th, and that's crucial as well because Kaginia's got that 3-second time penalty behind as well. Venom has got a 3-second time penalty, and the more these guys fight, the more Killer Blue, Varky and Armadillo come into play.
Yeah, Yaron picks up his second 3-second time penalty. Legend picking up his second 3-second time penalty as well. Shapalele pulls to the left-hand side. He's got that move on Lemon heading down in towards turns 8 and 9. And behind them, we're going 2 wide all the way through.
Goodness me, 3 wide actually coming through turn 7. Venom gets a superior run, but Kagenio has got the superior run on Matthias, and Lemon tries to weave in behind Chapelali, but Kagenio now up the hill towards turn 10. Venom around the outside of Matthias. Can he get the move done? And the Renault, the French crowd will be going absolutely wild if this was in real life, as the Mercedes is still on the inside line, but the Renault, I think, is going to have the superior traction, and Venom is through around the outside through turn 11 and 12. Another opportunistic move, but it is a place you can get an overtake done. Venom's just proven it, and he's through and he's up to 5th.
Yeah, nice move there. Venom put all his bravery on show there. Matthias down to 6th place after that tremendous move. And as we head on towards the 9th lap of this race, Neo in the lead though, but is yet to stop here at the French Grand Prix. As we see all down the order, Papetum rejoined in 10th place, by the way, and all that madness. There is the race leader before those pit stops happened. Papetum there 8/10 ahead of Amazing Hours, who hasn't been able to shake off that Alfa Romeo. He managed to get a little bit of a gap over him, but Carlsbury there fastest up the race. Now he's on the soft tyre looking for the 2-stop in this race. James, that's a bit of an unconventional strategy. We weren't expecting 2 stops tonight.
2-stop can work though, it has been proven. I've seen it in F1 2019 certainly, where drivers on a 2-stop strategies, I watched Kagenio going wide in front of Venom, and yeah, the soft compound tyres will come into play. It'll be good short term, but longer term, it's really going to feel the effects. As you say, they can only get 7 or 8 laps. Here comes Venom on the back of Kagenio. He's not going to go around the outside of chicane, nor does he. Down the inside, coming through turn 9, and he gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by Venom. That was very late on the brakes. Kagenio allowed him the space to come back, and Venom is through, and he's up to 4th, and there's a yellow flag in sector 2, and it's Imadi, I think.
It is Imadi who's found himself around there as he just tries to find his way back out onto the track. Meanwhile, Kagenio is looking for a move. Yeah,
and Killer Blue's down the inside of Matthias as well, just in behind. The Mercedes still trying to fight this. The yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Armadi's got back going, but Killer Blue around the outside on a sort of hard compound of tyres. The Pink Panther comes back to bite at Matthias, and the Racing Point is through, and he's up into 6th, and Chapelletti is in from 2nd.
Yeah, Force India, fatal faux pas there, James, I'm afraid. That's one for the money box. Meanwhile, then, Matthias is on the back of Killer Blue as he tries to reel in the Scotsman once again, but it's not happening down the start-finish straight at this moment in time. We have 18 laps to go here. Having the first 10 flown by, well, that's great news because we've got another 18 coming your way here at the French Grand Prix. Kagenio really struggling. He's taking a bit of Rolex advertising board with him. Killer Blue then goes all the way through. Kagenio is in trouble here. He's let all those cars go through. I wonder if that was a little bit of trouble he had on his end.
Might be to try and get DRS, actually, to try and catch back up to him, because he's got Varky ahead on a set of hard compound of tyres. Interestingly, though, in behind, I'm on board with Amazing Hour. Papetum cut turn 1, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty, so that could be very crucial towards the end. And look at Carlsbury. Carlsbury is right on the back of these guys as well. Varky tries to close up on Matthias just ahead. I don't think he's going to be close enough down the Mistral Straight, and in fact he's not, and he's still in 6th position. I'm on board with Carlsbury still, and nobody close enough for a move. But Amazing Now is just chomping away at the bits. He's just getting quite close to Papetum, and look at the gap they're beginning to pull. As Chapelletti, fresh on a set of hards, goes past on Combi.
Vaki, meanwhile, is on the back of Matthias, heading now our way through turn 11. And as you say, James, how important is that penalty that's been awarded to Papetum going to be towards the end of this race? It's 3 seconds for now, but the important thing is as well, is Amazing Hour doesn't have to ask Jeff anymore about the penalties. He can see that for himself. He can see instantly on the side of his name, at least for the car in front, that he's got a 3-second time penalty. So that'll be on his mind the whole race. Lemon, meanwhile, is coming into the pits then. He's going to put on a set of hard tyres. That's his mandatory set. That'll take him to the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm still on board with Carlsbury. He's still chomping at the bit on the back of Amazing Hour. Amazing Hour as well in the slipstream. Lemon has gone onto a set of hards, as you say. 17 laps, 18 laps can work on a set of hard compound tyres. They might be quite worn, and they might get a puncture towards the end, possibly. but I think they can make it no problem at all. Combi and Chapelletti's still fighting through turn 1. Yoram and Lemon are fighting the two sister cars once again, the Red Bull and the Alpha Tauri. I was going to say Alfa Romeo for a second there, but Yoram still in 14th. Again, another that French word that you said.
Faux pas, yeah.
Yeah,
so that's going to be a word for you, James, I'm afraid. But that wasn't even the right team. I mean, anyway. Point is, Varky is on the back of Matthias right now as we head our way on towards the second part of the Mistral Straight. Another battle to keep our eye on is that battle for what could be the lead of the race. Perpetuum, Amazing Hour and Carlsbury. 2 out of 3 drivers on the same strategy, 2 of them on the hard tyres. Meanwhile, Carlsbury's going for that 2-stop strategy, the more aggressive strategy. But to make that strategy work, he's got to get past the 2 ahead of him, Perpetuum and Amazing Hour, if he has any chance of making that 2-stop work.
And I've got to say, simply, Amazing Now is quickest out of the top, out of these 3, I think, out on track. Because Carlsbury is catching back up, but he made a fatal error coming through the chicane. He just got caught on the outside curb. He lost a bit of time, and it's now 7/10 of a second. And around this track, 7/10 of a second, even with DRS, even with overtake mode, is very hard for the guys ahead to try, for the guy behind to try and get the overtake done. As Amazing Now will try and prove me wrong down towards turn 1, but I don't think he's going to be close enough on the run down towards turn 1, and no, he's not. Matthias and Cagini also into the pit lane, and these guys I think are going to be filtering out around Imadi Yoram sort of area. They're going to be in and around this spot, I think, as actually the pit window for Matthias has just came for lap 12 to 15. Ignore that, Matthias.
Yeah, he's going to the end now and looking to try and get those hard tyres to the end as far as possible. Carlsbury picking up a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, as well, I believe Coutinho picked himself up a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Here comes Amazing Hour on the back of Perpetuum. I don't think he'll be close enough to try and move in towards turn 8. He actually turns off his ERS there to make sure he can slow down for the corner and realise that he's not quite going to make it this time around. Does he turn up his ERS at any point down the second part of the Mistral Straight, heading towards turn 10? No, he doesn't. He saves it for a rainy day, but flying now all the way through turn 10 we go. Is there an opportunity for a move in towards turn 11? Perpetuum, he's counting Amazing Hour there on Perpetuum understeering so he could try and get a switchback. That didn't happen. Perpetuum saw it coming.
Yeah, Perpetuum saw it coming, and both of them on the same strategy are going to definitely be going towards the end of the race. Carlsbury is still in behind. He cannot find a way through as I ride on board with Neo. Just seen Chapelletti in front of him pick up a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings from wide coming out from the exit of turn 11. But look at these guys. They're catching Legend. Legend was the first one to pit on a set of medium compound of tyres. He has got to go on, I think, to a set of hard compound of tyres towards the end of the race, because I cannot see him featuring in the top 15, if I've got to be honest.
Well, remember, he started on the soft tyres, so he could go on to another set of mediums if he gets far enough into this race. He pitted very early in this race, don't forget, either lap 1 or lap 2. I think it actually was the end of the first lap he pitted in. So he could be going for that 2-stop strategy, but going for the medium tyres, so it's a less aggressive 2-stop strategy, which could hurt him towards the end of this race. But I think there's more than meets the eye about that one. I think that was a little bit of a change in strategy for him. I think he's running on about plan C or plan D at this moment in time. Amazing Hour once again just can't quite have the pace down that straight towards turn 8 to make a move there. I tried to find another rhyming word, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to there. Amazing Hour then making his way up towards turn 10. Still no way through for him.
Yeah, Legends run on the back of Chapelletti. And here comes the Alfa Romeo down the inside and towards turn 10. He's going to try and think about getting the move done. He's only running at 50% power coming through turn 10. He's got the inside line though, and it should be job done coming through turn 11. I think Chapelletti will have better traction, and yeah, already sails through. And Neo's trying to fight through as well. If he wants to get through, Neo, he's got to do it now on the straight, I think, because Chapelletti will begin to pull away. And the more that Chapelletti begins to pull away, the more Neo will be robbed of a battle against another one of his rivals from League of Europe.
Well, they say the rivalries carry over, but the races pretty much stay the same. Lap 14 of this race, then Venom leading the way with Killer Blue and Varky in second and third, but all three of those drivers are yet to stop in this race. Perpetuum in fourth place there, doesn't get turn 2 very clean
Leo
there. This could be...
Leo's down the inside coming through turn 1, now on the outside coming through turn 2. He's got the traction. Legend tries to fight it as much as possible. Now on the run down towards turn 3, and Neo is through. Legend just let him have that one, and Neo was through and he's up into 8th. Game on again.
Game on again. Meanwhile, for Amazing Hour, he didn't get a great first sector there and lost all that time he gained on Perpetuum, who made that mistake on the exit of turn 2. And once again, the Alfa Romeo finds himself ruining his luck there because he cannot find this way past. Carlsbury, meanwhile, will be even more frustrated. He's not getting the best out of those soft tyres. They are past their prime now. 7-lap-old soft tyres. At some point, it'll be on the mediums.
Combi's trying to go around the outside of Legend again. Legend picks up a 3-second time penalty. The way that Legend took the corner as well, Combi had to go off the track to try and get the move done, but he was behind before he got the move done, and now Combi has got the move done and he's through and he's up into 9th. I've got to be honest, that was a little bit touch and go for one stage, but Combi got the move done. He was behind, he let him back through, got the overtake done with the overtake mode, and he's through and he's up into 9th.
Again, with Amazing Hour, just trying to focus on these guys as well. They are technically leading this race. Varkey in, and more importantly, Carlsbury is in as well. And I expect him to go on to a set of medium tyres for the last 13 laps of this race, which he does. Meanwhile, then Amazing Hour really closing up to the back of Perpetuum there as we make our way now in through turn 2. And Legend there, I hope that's a graphics little bit of a glitch there. I hope he's not on 12-lap-old medium tyres there. Have the team let him down.
No, he's just pulled into his pit box and he's on for a fresh set of mediums.
Oh, that's a relief then. I did think for a second there that the team had a major malfunction and decided to put him on scrub medium tyres. Not only scrub, but pretty much used all the way through. Amazing Hour closing in to the back of Perpetuum. This could be his best chance here. Perpetuum goes defensive into turn 8 there, trying to take the inside line. Amazing Hour had to back out of any potential move there, but now heading through turn 9, he's got a much better exit than the Alpha Tauri. Now making our way up towards turn 10. No ERS deployment for the Alfa Romeo. Could he try and go the long way round in towards 10? He will, you know, round the long way round in towards turn 11. Again, Perpetuum puts his car on the inside, but now that's understeers. A little bit happened there, but not quite the way he wanted it to. Yaram out of this race.
Not sure what happened. I think he lost it actually on the curb, and there's a safety car.
Safety car deployed, so what that's going to do then is these hard tyre runners are going to come straight in. Venom has worked out perfectly. He's at pit lane entrance. Coming in now, what tyres does he put on?
Mediums. It has to go mediums. 12 laps on a set of mediums can work. And I think he'll be in for a set of medium companion tyres. Look at the guys filtering into the pit lane as well. So Venom and Killer Blue, interestingly as well, are going to be towards the front end of the field. Neo, however, looks like he stayed out. So Neo will be the leader under the safety car, I think.
Yeah, he's on the hard tyres as well. I don't know if that's going to be the right call there. However, Venom, that has worked out a treat. That safety car came out at the penultimate corner for him. He rejoins in second place overall with just Neo ahead of him. But for Venom and for Killer Blue, wow, they are straight back up there. This is their mandatory set of tyres. Remember, they started this race on the hard tyres, and in fact, they started all the way down the order. So in fact, the one and only stop has now occurred under the safety car. That was probably the window they were pitting on anyway, and it has worked out perfectly for them. Although Perpetuum and Amazing Hour will feel that they've been slightly robbed there, but they've got their work cut out for them towards the end. I think Carlsbury has been slightly saved at the moment, or slightly put at edge, because he's on a lap older tyres than Perpetuum and Amazing Hour. But now all strategy is wiped off. Now everybody's pretty much on the same strategy until you get to Neo. Everyone's running on a new set of medium tyres apart from Neo. I can't help but think that that wasn't the right decision from the Racing Point driver.
Longer term, I can see what he's done, to be honest, because these mediums will begin to wear off at the same point as those hards will, right at the end of the race. So if Neil can stay there and defend for his life out in front, he might just have a chance of winning this, But it's going to be so difficult as Venom, Killer Blue, Perpetuum and Amazing Hour are behind him. And for Perpetuum and Amazing Hour in particular, their 4th and 5th, they're going to be nullified really because the guys ahead, the 2 guys ahead, Venom and Killer Blue, are on the same strategy, on the same medium tyres as they are. So really, they've lost their one and only chance possibly to try and get the race win and maybe even to try and get a podium out on track. But as per Formula 1, nothing is said and done.
No, absolutely. Just looking at the changes of position, and Venom and Killer Blue, wow, look how much they've risen up the table. 12 places gained for Venom, 8 places gained for Killer Blue. You've got Vaki, who's gained 6 places. They are so the biggest winners out of that safety car period so far. I'm going to assume we only have one more lap under the safety car because the field is already pretty much bunched up here. So they're all ready to go racing once again. I predict we've only got this one more lap under the safety car. And let's take you through the order as it stands right now. We've got Neo leading the race on those hard tyres. Venom is in second place, managing to make his start work there. I'm sure that was his pit stop window anyway that he wanted to pit in at, but the safety car came out about 2 corners before the pit lane for him, and he was able to just slot into that pit lane nice and simply. Same for Killer Blue. They've both got themselves well up the order now, and starting on those hard tyres, they would have been hoping for a safety car at that exact point. That's exactly what they've got. Perpetum, the pole sitter, in 4th place right now. He's got his work cut out if he wants this race win. Amazing Hour in 5th place. Vaki in 6th place, well and truly in the mixture of the points now. Carlsbury in 7th place. Remember, he was on one of the only drivers on a 2-stop strategy. He's down in 7th place, but he's on the same tyre as everybody else, albeit a lap older. Combi in 8th place with Chapelele in 9th. Legend in 10th place with Lemon in 11th. Matthias in 12th. Armady in 13th. Cohen in 14th place. Coutinho rounding out that top 15. And after his poor start and after everything didn't seem to be going right for him, Paul Coutinho, he's right back into the thick of it. He's got a great opportunity to get some serious points out of a position where he might not have got many.
Looking at the penalties, though, I will put you out of your misery and say he's got 12 seconds worth of penalties. He's got most out of everyone out on track. Whoever it was, by the way, that came in for that 5-second stop and go has served it. So we've only got 6 drivers now with penalties. That's Venom, Perpetum, Carlsbury, Chapelele, all on a 3-second time penalty. Legend on 9 seconds, Coutinho on 12 seconds. Safety car coming in this lap.
Yep, so Neo will be the head of the field right now, and of course the safety car lights turn off very early, all things considered, because you've still got about 5 or 6 corners before you're ready to go on the start-finish line. Now, of course, with the safety car, as long as the lead car keeps a consistent pace, that is absolutely fine. There have been some tweaks as well in the latest patch that hopefully, if you do manage to overtake someone and give the position back, you're now no longer penalised for that one. So Neo is now going to bunch up the pack, and it's up to him to restart this race. The safety car has to be beyond the pit lane speed limit line, but Neo can go any point now, and he's decided to go for it now, in through 14 and now towards turn 15. You can't overtake until you've passed the timing line on the start-finish line, which for this track is the start-finish line. Here we go then, 10 to go here at Paul Ricard. We're back under green flag racing. Neo leads the way, but can he hold on against Venom for what seems to be a long, long time? It's 50-odd kilometres he'll have to hold on for on those tyres, but here comes Venom on those fresh, medium tyres. It's only a matter of time, surely, for Venom to try and find his way through. Killer Blue in 3rd place, Perpetum in 4th, and meanwhile Neo gets it all wrong on the exit of 4. Here goes Venom up the inside in towards turn 5, and just as quickly as that, Venom has the traction, he's got the position. Venom leads the French Grand Prix.
And Killer Blue's going to come through as well, as Killer Blue's actually going to get the run now on Venom. And he could get 2 for 1 down the Mistral straight. He's round the outside now into the chicane. No, very late on the brakes. Venom tries to force him off track. Amazing Hour has picked up a 3-second time penalty, but Venom somehow hangs on. Killer Blue right having a go. Neo is still involved in this as well, but look at Perpetum. Perpetum has latched onto the back, and Amazing Hour's slight mistake has got him still onto the back. Vaki and Carlsbury is also looking quite racy as well.
Yeah, Venom just having to hold on from Killer Blue there. They almost went side by side going in towards turn 11, but they both thought the better of it there. So Venom leads and Killer Blue up to 2nd place. Neo down to 3rd from that start. Perpetum still in 4th place. He'll want to try and get past that racing point as quickly as he possibly can. 14 approaches now, but Perpetum runs a little bit deep there. He goes the wrong way round in towards turn 15. He's got the inside line, and from what I thought was going to be a mistake from Perpetum, turned out to be the most brilliant move you've ever seen. What a move from the Alpha Tauri driver. Here comes Amazing Hour, though, looking to pick up the pieces up the inside in towards turn 1, and he's got that position, and that decision from Neo to stay out looks like it's starting to bite him.
Really starting to bite him. He's lost 4 positions in the space of a lap underneath from that safety car restart. But Perpetum, let's just talk about that move around the outside through turn 14. I did say you will get a move around the outside of turn 14. It's like James Head's predictions are all falling into one.
Oh, but he's got a huge amount of oversteer there on the exit of 5. Here comes Amazing Hour. No DRS just yet. This has to all be Slipstream and ERS. The AlphaTauri's got the inside line though, going in towards turn 8. And Amazing Hour actually backs out of the throttle, tries to go round the outside in towards 8, runs deep into 9, and that's going to compromise his exit. What about Neo? He's not close enough to take full advantage of that one, but that was a fine tightrope line there as yellow flags.
Yeah, Lemon has spun off the curve of Varkey coming across on Carlsbury through turn 10. Carlsbury has the hand of rage. Varkey, they make contact coming through, and it's going to be so difficult. And Varkey has spun. He put Korea's off track as well, and that really wasn't needed. Varkey still in this race. He can get back going. He's just waiting for Lemon, I think, as he rejoins track, and Varkey definitely not happy with that one. He's down into 14th position. Contact that really was not needed at all, and Varkey crashes into the pit wall, and we might get another safety car or at least a VSC.
It is a VSC there, so we're down to 14 runners in this race though, so Venom still leads this way. Killer Blue in second place. Perpetuum now is up to third place, and that top 2 right now will be counting their lucky stars. They are getting to battle for this lead of the race on those medium tyres. This is exactly how they wanted their strategy to go, and they looked out of it, outside of the top 10. But that just shows you, never give up in Formula 1 because anything can happen. Venom is leading the way. Killer Blue in second. Perpetuum will be looking to try and change things here in third place. It's Amazing Hour in fourth place. Neo fifth with Carlsbury in sixth. Combi in 7th, Chapalele in 8th, Legend 9th, Matthias in 10th, Amadi in 11th, Cohen in 12th place with Kikino in 13th, and Lemon coming into the pit lane. He's now onto a set of soft tyres and will try and go for the fastest lap of this race. I don't think we're too far away from green flag racing here because the cars are starting to pick up the pace then as we make our way through. And just to say that, we are now back under full course green racing.
Perfect timing there, Kieran. Neo's right on the back of Amazing Hour. 4/10 of a second off. He's been given a slight lifeline, I think, underneath that VSC because his tyres will not be wearing as quick as possible. But 15 laps on a set of tyres is going to be under pressure as Amazing Hour tries to go around the outside of Perpetuum. Carlsbury as well, trying to go down the inside of Neo. Amazing Hour on the inside of Perpetuum. They hang on, but Carlsbury could get the move done. Around the outside and towards turn 12, it's game over for Neo. He's back now in behind Carlsbury. Carlsbury through. After that contact with Varkey, he's came out unscathed, and he's up to 5th, and do you know what? He is fired up, and he's now on the back of the leaders again.
He is indeed, and this has been a huge strategy change here for the safety car to come out when it did and to really shake up this race. Venom leads then with 7 to go. Killer Blue is in second. Perpetuum rounding off the podium so far. Neo is just trying to hold his own out there, but he's going to struggle, especially in this mid part of this stint at this moment in time. He's going to struggle to keep the tyres in check, but he'll be hoping he can come back into the race towards the end when the medium tyre runners start to get to a similar delta as the hard tyres he's running, but that's not going to be for a while yet. He's going to have to do a lot of defending going through. Gombi, meanwhile, is making his way through. I believe this is his debut here tonight in 7th place right now. He's got a chance of getting a top 6 finish as long as he can keep everything together. Amazing Hour really now closing into the back of Perpetuum with DRS online.
Yeah, Combi as well on the back. Hopefully he won't be ending up like a Combi boiler out on track. That's terrible, I know. Neo still in 6th position for now. Combi in 7th, Chapalele in 8th. Legend in 9th, and Chapalele closing up on the back of Combi. The two Germans could go at it now through turn 10. But Combi just hanging on for now. Chapalele is there. He's there to fight, and he's there to try and get the move done. But currently, no finding his way through. But these guys are just beginning to pull away from Legend. He just seems to be struggling as hanging back the likes of Matthias, Imadi and Cohen. Really disappointing debut from starting so high up on the grid in 12th now. Kikino 13th, Twitch Lemon in 14th. Venom is hanging on still though, but he's got a 3-second time penalty which could be absolutely crucial.
Could be indeed, and it could shake up this race. Of course, with those penalties under the safety car, it's going to exacerbate them and make them even more painful to take towards the checkered flag. Amazing Hour, though, on the back of Perpetuum. They've both got penalties, as you can see, by the black and white diagonal flag next to them. Killer Blue, no penalties whatsoever. This could be a day for him. Carlsbury picks up another 3-second time penalty, which could really put himself down the order if he's not careful. The likes of Neo and Combi will be hoping to keep themselves clean in the penalty front to try and get themselves high up the order. Yes, Neo is not on the same tyres as these guys. Yes, he won't be lapping as quickly as them as Lemon sets the fast lap of the race, 29.8, and then promptly leaves the session. He still has to run and finish on his own power to score those points, though, so he'll be wanting to try and get back into this session as quickly as he possibly can. Lap 22, though, not far from the checkered flag, but look at that. That picture tells a whole story. This field is bunched up like nothing else, and at this moment in time, anybody could be winning this race for sure.
Top 7 separated by 3.2 seconds out on track. That is how close it could come. But Combi, I think, has got to get the move done on Neil sooner rather than later. Neil's hanging in there very well, I've got to say. He's only lost a couple more positions, but he's there in 6th position, and he's there on merit still. And these tyres will only start to begin to come into play around this point now. Schiaparelli tries to lunge it down the inside of Combi there, but not close enough indeed. Twitch Lemon, by the way, I think he set the fastest lap, but because he's not underneath his own power, I don't think he's going to get that fastest lap. Speaking of overtakes, though, Matthias is going to get the move done down the inside and towards turn 1. The Mercedes through on the Haas, and he's through and he's up into 9th position, and that is a runner of not having 3-second time penalty. Legends just picked up another one, but Matthias through and he's up into 9th.
Yeah, and those penalties will shuffle up the order for sure, as we'll check those penalties. We know the drivers that do have penalties. What we don't know is how much they have. We know that Cosbury has a good 9 or 10 seconds.
Cosby spun and cut up. Neil's been caught up in better contact as well. He's got a 5-second penalty. Neil retires out on track. I don't think that's going to warrant a safety car. Not really sure what happened there, to be honest. It looks like Cosby got caught in a bit of a half spin. I don't think he realised that Neil's actually retired from the race. I don't know what happened there, to be honest. It looked like Carlsbury had spun, and Neil might have contacted the back of him. I'm not sure.
Well, it looks like that Carlsbury wanted to try and wait for him, as you say, to try and let him back through, but then he retired and left the session, so unfortunately for him, Neo is out of the race and not going to score any points. He could have tried to limp it to the end and at least get some points on the board, but that rage and that anger just beats you. It's beaten me before in a point scoring position, in a point where you could get some decent points out on track. You just let that frustration get the better of you.
I believe Combi as well was caught up in that slightly. He's lost 0.6 of a second to the back of Amazing Hour. Killer Blue, though, on the back of Venom for the race lead, running down with 4 more laps to go. The Scotsman trying to defend from the Brit. They've got a whole host of nationalities in behind as well. We've got a German and we've got an Australian in behind. Combi, the 2 Germans, with Schiaparelli fighting out for 5th. As Cosby retires, I think, coming into the pit lane. Twitch Lemon, if he comes back, he's going to try and get P12 out on track, and he will pick up that fastest lap point crucially.
He will indeed, as we've got yellow flags in Sector 3, and that is just Carlsbury retiring in the pit lane. So that's going to be Lemon with another position, so long as he can get back under his own power. Once again, Pepetta, we're riding on board with him as he's closing in on Killer Blue, heading towards turn 8. Is this going to be a move here that's going to be made by Pepetta? He certainly looks for it up the inside. He's got it all wrong. He goes into the side of the Renault and he spins himself out. Just a poor judgment there from Pepetta. Wanted to get that move done, but the Renault wasn't getting out of the way, and why should he? He got the racing line. But Petham's move for the lead of this race, or at least a charge for the lead of this race, comes crashing down. Amazing Hour now up into 2nd place. He's past Killer Blue, and without drama.
Yeah, he passed him through turn 10. What drama here in France. Combi as well just got overtaken by Schiaparelli down into the Mistral Straight. That is how you do get an overtake done, down into the chicane node, and Schiaparelli is through and he's up into 4th position and can now begin to push. He's got clear air in front. Killer Blue, another driver from League of Europe, just ahead of him, and Schiaparelli will be hoping to try and close in very soon indeed. But 3 more laps to go. What drama? We still don't know who's going to win.
No, absolutely not, and it's keeping us on the edge of our seats with 3 laps to go. Any one of the top 3 here could be in line for their first ever TT Masters League win. How amazing would that be for Venom, for Amazing Hour, and for Killer Blue? With Amazing Hour on debut, don't forget, as well, making his first appearance in that Alfa Romeo. Meanwhile, Venom and Killer Blue have had, Venom's, I believe, had 12 race starts. Killer Blue, 11, and 2 podiums is the best for Killer Blue right now. Coutinho picks up a 3-second time penalty, but but I have to say as well, they're both, all three of them are doing a fantastic job right now. They don't have far to go for one of these three to pick up their first win. Or could we see some sort of an upset? Shapalele still in the running there. If something goes wrong with any of the cars ahead of them, he could try and swoop in to try and get a result. He's already had a win in 6 starts here in TT Masters League. He'll be wanting to try and make it a second combi on debut, and meanwhile is in 5th place. So a whole host of drivers who don't normally find themselves at the pointy end of the field now have a huge opportunity now to score some real points on the board.
And all because of that contact as well with Perpetuum. And it really brings the race into play. But look at Shapalele, look at that gap. It's 1.8 seconds now. It was 2.4 at the beginning of the lap. Shapalele is beginning to fly out on track. I'm still on board with Coquinho, who's still on the back of Cohen, trying to repeat a Perpetuum move earlier on in the race through 14. But he's not close enough. He'll try and get the exit out the final corner. But 2 more laps to go. There's the penalties run down, by the way. Venom and Mazinauer, Shapalele, and Imadi have all got 3-second time penalties. Perpetuum's got 6 seconds. Legend got 12. And Coquinho's got 18 seconds worth of penalties. How he'd be wanting to end this race now.
Well, at the moment he'll still be in 11th place at least, but that's not going to be great for him whatsoever. What's going to be interesting is how close can Killer Blue keep onto the back of Venom and Amazing Hour with only 2 laps to go. We're on to the penultimate lap of this French Grand Prix, and if you've loved this action so far, I've got good news. We're back here next week for the British Grand Prix. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified. Meanwhile, Amazing Hour heads in towards turn 8, thought about a move up the inside of Venom there, but probably had those flashbacks from what he saw Perpetuum tried to do. Venom seems like he's got the strongest side pod Formula 1 has ever seen, but a French car leading the French Grand Prix, and here comes Amazing Hour, the Australian, right in his slipstream now. Is this going to be a move in towards 11? He's certainly going to think about it and maybe trying to lull Venom into that understeer. Venom wasn't having any of it though through turn 11. That car is firmly planted.
Venom, I've got to say, is driving one of the best races I've seen him drive in TTML, without a shadow of a doubt. He's been very clean, he's been really good in defensive driving here tonight as well, but he's got to defend for 1 more lap longer. Just over 5 kilometres left for these guys out on track. It's Venom who leads, Amazing Hour in second, Killer Blue in third. These probably will be your top 3. Shapalele is trying to make an impact, 1.7 seconds off in 4th. Matthias trying to get close to Combi as well. Combi on debut was in 5th. Really good performance from him so far. Amazing Hour's got a tremendous run out on Venom though.
Yeah, he has. Making our way now towards turn 3, but Venom managing to hold on at this moment in time. Killer Blue, meanwhile, does not have any penalties whatsoever. He's going to grab the popcorn and enjoy this one. This battle between the top 2 could eventually decide second place. We just don't know, really, until we get towards that checkered flag. Heading now on towards this Mistral straight. Killer Blue just knows he's got no incentive to try and move here. Here comes Amazing Hour.
Oh.
That's Venom trying to defend hard in towards turn 8. Amazing Hour around the outside. He's got the move done in towards turn 8 there. Fantastic move from the Alfa Romeo, and Venom will try and come back at him in towards turn 10. In the slipstream we go once again. Amazing Hour into the middle of the track. Venom trying to pick up that slipstream. He'll take the racing line through here. That might open up turn 11. Amazing Hour has to defend the inside line. Venom around the outside. Amazing Hour just about holds on though to this lead of the race. But what about Killer Blue? He's just kept himself to himself at the moment, and the Racing Point driver could find himself well and truly up the order. Amazing Hour though take nothing away from his debut. What a move that could be for a really high position in this race as he now makes his way in towards turn 15 for the final time here at the Paul Ricard circuit. Amazing Hour, what an amazing debut. He'll finish on track in the lead of this race to take the checkered flag, but it's gonna be Killer Blue who takes his first ever win in TT Masters League. And what a sensational drive with the safety car for Killer Blue, who wins the French Grand Prix. What a moment for the Racing Point driver, and what a French Grand Prix. Driver of the day, Matthias there in the Mercedes, starting from 16th place, didn't take part in qualifying, drove a strong race all the way throughout. Well, have you caught your breath yet? I'm sure Killer Blue won't have just yet. Give him some time and he'll take that first ever victory in TT Masters League. The first victory is always the sweetest, and the strategy prevailed today.
Really good win for Killer Blue out on track. Great credit though to Amazing Hour in second. Venom you have to feel so sorry for him. It came down to something like 18 thousandths of a second. Combi beat him for P3 on penalties.
Yeah, what a debut we've seen here from so many of our drivers. But for Killer Blue, 11th place on the grid, pitted under the safety car to turn his hards into mediums, goes on to take his first ever TT Masters League win. Amazing Hour in second place, Combi on debut. 2 debutantes on the podium for the first ever time in TT Masters League history. Venom in third place, Shapalele in fourth. Shapalele in fifth with Venom in fourth. Cohen in sixth, Matthias in seventh, Perpetum 8th, Amadi in 9th, Legend in 10th, Coutinho in 11th place. Twitch Lemon, although he got the fastest lap of the race, won't count to any of his points as he wasn't under his own power when he finished the race. Carsbury, Neo, Vaki and Yaram all not finishing this French Grand Prix. But James, let's just take a moment to grab our breaths here. What a race!
Unbelievable stuff in France, and if you thought France would not produce great action like that, well, you've just thought again with that result out on track. Fantastic result for Killer Blue, fantastic result for Amazing Aaron Combi on his debut as well, finishing in P3 on penalties. May stress though, official, unofficial results. So remember, yes, penalties can be added on. Perpetum, we expected him to gain the full amount of points. That little bit of contact really cost him, I think, out on track. And what I'll do now is I will try and sneak in some interviews with our top 3. Terrible. It's even worse than my combi boiler won that one. He has earned it, and to be honest, he drove such an astute race out on track. We normally see him don't pick up any penalties, and today was exactly the case, and this is why, if you're in the right place at the right time, you would get the race win, and Killer Blue deserves every amount of confidence. But well done to Amazing Hour and to Combi as well, not taking anything away from them. Big shout out as well to Cohen on his debut as well. Did a fantastic job in the Renault to finish eventually in 6th position out on track. Really recovered well because of the penalties, and I'm just trying to get the last 2 guys in. I think, honestly, if he tried to go for the move that little bit earlier, he could have tried to get the run out of turn 9 and try and get the move done. Such a shame that he made contact, really, to be honest, out on track. But it's one of those things. Racing does not come in fivefold or anything like that. Oh, everybody does have a bad day, and I'm sure Petum will come up. But, most importantly for him, he stays in second in the championship, closes in on medium pilot, which is crucial.
So we know how quick he is out there, but it could be a bit of a lost opportunity. He might look back at this French Grand Prix and think, you know, if I'd have got a few more points on the board, I could really be challenging towards the end of the season. But the only way we'll find that out is by going towards the end of the season and seeing how everything plays out. I'm very happy to report we have all of our top 3 in tonight's commentary box. Hopefully they've got all their voice settings correct and whatnot. But I want to start first with someone who's got their first ever TT Masters League win in what I believe to be their 13th attempt. Killer Blue, can you hear us?
I can indeed, hello.
Oh, Killer Blue. Well, I have to say, first ever win here at the French Grand Prix and in TT Masters League. Just talk us through how you're feeling right now.
It's absolutely crazy. I was nowhere the whole race, and then the safety car just completely fell into my lap, and the last 10 laps I was sweating, my heart was going like crazy. I knew I just had to not get a warning, and I'd won the race. I'd been on 2 for ages, and it was just so much relief across the line. It was crazy.
And you qualified 11th place as well, so you got to choose your own tyres to start on. You started on the hard, so the initial strategy couldn't have been too far away for you pitting under the mediums when that safety car came out.
No, because I was in a party with Neo, my teammate, and I was going to pit the next lap, lap 15, and then it came out when it did, and I was just like, it's perfect, I have to pit now. I wasn't expecting everyone behind me to pit, so that set me on edge a little bit, but it went as well as it could have done. I did struggle on the hards, but the mediums felt so much better.
And let me just say this again, 30 points on the board. That must be a good feeling.
It is, yeah, especially since I've missed so many races this season. The few I've done, I think Bahrain I was 4th, Baku 3rd, and then here the win. So when I've been able to race, it's gone really well for me. Everything's gone my way this season. So I think that's just the cherry on the cake so far.
We'll hand the mic over to James over there, because I know he's itching to ask a question too.
Yeah, really good result from you guys on that track there, Killer Blue. But just to focus our attentions on next week, it's the home track. It's Silverstone. It's the home of British motorsport. How do you take a race win like tonight from France and then deliver another performance in Britain? What's your mindset going into next week?
My mindset is always, well, a bit of a cliche, but one race at a time, and don't try and put too much pressure on myself. So next week I'll be back to the same expectations I always have, which is top 8 quali, top 6 race. It's always what I aim for here. So I'm going to enjoy this win, but I don't think I'll let it get to my head too much and hope too much for myself next week. I'll just go in and do the best I can and hopefully get, like I say, a top 6 finish is what I aim for each week.
It's a good cliche to have, and it's good goals to have, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's the right way to go. You don't want to build yourself up too much, because when it does go wrong, it's going to hurt way more than it would have done. So enjoy the win, but I say don't get carried away with it. It's the best way.
Yep.
Well, I think, Killer Blue, we're going to let you go because you need to enjoy this race victory. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations on your first TT Masters League victory.
Thank you very much, I will.
Next up, we have, I believe, one of the only Australians we've ever had in TT Masters League on debut, finishing in 2nd place. Amazing Hour, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, bud.
Well, Amazing Hour, 2nd place on debut. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I'm stoked after that, to be honest. That was a real cool race. Safety car, obviously, there around lap 16 did screw some of us hard tyre runners up a little bit, but you know, sometimes like that's just the way things happen. The pace between I think it was myself and the AlphaTauri and also the Ferrari as well. I think we were pretty even there at the start, but Ferrari fell back a little bit. And then, yeah, it was just a 2-horse race there for a little while till the safety car came out. Everybody pitted, bunched all of us back up. And then, yeah, it's just awesome fun there for the last 10 laps, just pushing as hard as we all could. Unfortunately, I got that 3-second penalty there at the chicane in the back straight, which mucked us up a little bit. But, yeah, you know, can't take anything away from Killer Blue. I mean, he drove faultlessly, obviously, without picking up a penalty, and he's won the race because of that. So massive congrats to him, obviously, first win. And yeah, like I said, for me, P2, I'm bloody stoked. First race here, and just really enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Yeah, and we can't go a lot further than not talk about your move on Venom towards the end of that race. I mean, what was going through your head at that point? I had a faint hope that Killer Blue would pick up a penalty on the final lap there, and I knew if he did, if I got past Venom, I could actually win the race. So that was the real intention, just to give myself every opportunity to win the race. And obviously to do that, I knew I had to get in front of him. I saw he had a little bit of oversteer just as we were about to come onto the back straight, so he didn't have the best run. I had absolutely no ARS left, but I burned it all up anyway.
and yeah, was just able to get around the outside of him and then fend him off the next few corners. He had me worried in that long right-hander. I saw him try and go for the old over and under, and that really had me worried. But yeah, just able to fend him off there, and yeah, that was just a cracker of a final lap. Awesome move. Obviously, thankful that he gave me enough room, and yeah, that was just awesome. Not much else I can say. So looking forward to Britain next time out.
Yeah, and just one more question from me before I hand over to James. Obviously, it's always interesting for drivers who join mid-season to sort of gauge where their targets are. Did you set yourself a target before you came into this season?
Yeah, I was aiming to be in the top 5, to be honest. I'd watched round 4 back a couple of days ago, and round 3 as well, and I got an idea of like who was where and what type of pace everybody had. So when I was sitting here about half an hour before the race, I was thinking to myself, I think I can get a top 5, and if I can do that, I can walk away from this yeah, being a happy man. So well and truly got that done. So yeah, just like I said, really happy with the result. Pace was awesome, great fun, and yeah, can't say much more, really.
Yeah, happy man indeed. I'll hand over the mic to James now, because he's going to have a couple of questions for you now.
Yeah, first of all, I've just got to give a massive thank you for you to turn up in the first place. I mean, it's 8 a.m. over there in Australia now, and to have that commitment, it's like 9 o'clock over here in the UK, is just phenomenal. Well done to you. And it's the same question, really, that I asked Killer Blue. How do you take your mindset? Obviously picking up a P2 finish, obviously with you being a new driver as well. How do you take that mindset from France to Britain next week?
I suppose the whole thing is you can't get too ahead of yourself. You need to realise, because I've been guilty of making this mistake before about looking ahead and not what's like directly in front of me. And that has actually cost me quite dearly before. So yeah, I've learnt to not look maybe 5 rounds ahead at maybe a championship or a record of some description, or you know, anything like this. Nowadays it's really just the mindset of, okay, what's next up? So in this case now we'll go to Britain. So France will really be put, I don't know, on the back burner. Like, the race is done. So, you know, we move on. Obviously, we take the positives from that race. Great pace, P2 finish. So that's obviously something to build on. But, yeah, at the same time, even if it was a bad race, you can't dwell on it. You've just got to look forward and keep on pushing as much as you can. So, yeah, basically my mindset for now is, you know, France was a great race, but now it's done. Now eyes are on Silverstone, and another good performance there.
Well, thank you very much. Amazing hour for a debut podium. That's not going to sound too bad there. There's a thing about debuts in TTML, I've noticed. But congratulations. Enjoy your second place, and we look forward to seeing you at Silverstone next week.
Cheers, guys.
And last but not least, another debutant, this time the German in the McLaren, made his feelings perfectly clear in the chat there. Luckily he censored himself. Hopefully he's got he's not going to swear on stream, fingers crossed. But it is Combi. Combi, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah.
Combi, 3rd place on debut. That was a heck of a race. Talk us through it.
It was, definitely. Qualifying was horrible, to be honest. I went out when the rain started, so couldn't set a fast lap time, and I finished P7 or 8, and I didn't think that I could get anywhere near the podium, because you know, France is just slipstreaming around and DRS training, so yeah, I was just hoping to maybe get a few places. Yeah, it was all about just making a move stick when it matters, and I think I did that, and that's why I finished on the podium. I mean, I didn't see the first 2 guys and for the whole race, and still came home 3rd. That's yeah, very good for me. Two moments when I almost got collected by Barry, and another one I just did a Carlos Sainz there and on Albon. Just I don't know. That was unbelievably close. Yeah, I'm just happy to be on the podium. Really, great race. I've missed that. Really, I've missed that so much to race competitive guys wheel to wheel. I haven't done this so far this year. I'm glad to be still part of this league and still be able to race these guys.
Yeah, and you returned with some style as well, in all honesty. Obviously, you were at one point 5th place, but with those penalties on track, promoted yourself up to 3rd. Was there any point you were close to that 3-second time penalty?
Actually, I didn't get a warning for the whole race. I did. I got 2, but I got pushed off the track, and somehow I got 2 warnings for that. I don't know why. So I was pretty close to a 3rd one, but actually not, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But yeah, from then on it was just, pushing and get a penalty and get it removed, or just watch out for the track limits. Was pretty close a few times, but managed to bring it home.
Yeah, and of course the safety car came out, and just talk us through how that changed your race.
Yeah, a lot. the soft tires were just crap after 5 or 6 laps, so I had to go on the hard tires. I didn't know I was racing 30 minutes before the race, so I had no idea what strategy I was going to do. I was just slowing down a bit to let the guys in front pit and see what tires they're going on. So I wanted to do a 2-stop, but I went into the pits and saw that these guys in front went on hards, so I changed it in the last second, went on hards, and these hard tires were just horrible, unbelievably slow, understeer so much, and the safety car just, it saved everyone's race, I guess, made it faster, for the stream especially. The people had a lot more fun to watch that, I guess. And made it close again. So safety car just spiced it up again.
It definitely did spice it up. Obviously, same question that I asked Amazing Hour. Obviously, it's interesting to get a feel of how our mid-season drivers or mid-season entrants feel about the rest of the season. Did you set yourself a target before joining the league here in this round?
Not really. My goal is just to have fun every race. League racing is just like sport. If you play soccer or go karting, or I don't know, it's just all about this feeling when you win. I was on the podium and I was so happy when I saw it, and these emotions, even if it's just on a console, but it's still great to do this. And I just want to have fun. I'm not practicing at all for any races because I don't have the time. But it's just for fun, to be honest. I don't have any goals.
Well, that's great to hear. James, I'll hand over the mic to you for your questions.
First of all, I just want to say I apologise for the awfully bad pun that I did halfway through the race on your name, which I'm sure you'll come up at later on when you watch the stream back. Yeah, terrible. Same question, really. How do you feel going into Silverstone, knowing that you've done well here in France? Do you take that forward for you, or are you like the other two with Killer Blue and Amazing Hour, and you just take it one race at a time?
I think everyone in the back of the head is you won the race, or you're on the podium, or you finish P2. You want to, of course, keep that momentum up, and I don't know if I can race in Silverstone, but to finish on the podium here motivates me to, of course, get another podium, and that's what I want to do if I'm able to race.
Hopefully you are able to, and that's it for me.
Well, thank you so much, Combi, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy that 3rd place podium debut.
I'll do, guys. Cheers. I just want to say, mates, I watched the stream a bit. Dude, Formula 1 really needs to get a job for you two guys. Unbelievable. I've never seen a stream and 2 commentators doing that is so good. Unbelievably. Thank you guys for doing this.
Well, you're very welcome. I mean, Tom in the background as well, handling all the graphics and the multi-screen. I know he's been hard at work this race. We've been hard at work. He's been even harder at work to make sure you can not miss any of the action. Obviously, James and I are streaming, so he's got to try and pick whichever screen has the most action. But hopefully that means that you have a lot more replays of action that's just happened. So it's a real team effort, and yeah, big shout out to Tom, who is behind the scenes there. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us there in that top 3 podium positions. Enjoy the rest of your evenings and enjoy those lovely virtual trophies that are coming your way. James, obviously we come to the end, or coming towards the end of the stream, and like we said, we've asked the drivers what they think of the British Grand Prix coming up next. What do you think of the British Grand Prix coming up next? Because I hear there's a special day on the horizon.
There is a special day on the horizon, so yeah, it is going to be my birthday next Saturday. It won't impact on any TTML commentaries or anything like that, so don't wish me a happy birthday in advance until we get to Saturday, please. But for the British Grand Prix, I think it's one of those tracks that the drivers love to drive, and we love to watch as well. From our perspective, I think it's going to be fantastic. We should see a lot of overtaking. It's quite similar, I think, to France, especially down towards Stowe, where you have the bit of a DRS trains, and towards Copse as well. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. It's just one of those Grand Prix that is actually virtually going to be attended by fans as well.
Well, fingers crossed. It's a classic circuit that produces some classic action as well. Seen plenty of races in the past, so very exciting, and there's a lot of action that happens, so hopefully you'll be joining us for the British Grand Prix next week. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single race ever again. If it's a weekday, we're racing. It's as simple as that. So hopefully you will join us for that. All the social medias as well, the Twitters are all down below as well for myself and James Head in the commentary box, and also Tom Zaggers behind the scenes with the stream. Now, normally this is the point where I wrap up the stream and wish everybody a good night and see you again next time at Silverstone. But I have one more thing that I do want to say, and unfortunately it's not great news if you're listening in, or maybe it is, it depends, but after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so heading into January, this will be my last season as TT Masters League Division 1 commentator. So I've been working alongside the likes of Mays for 3 years now. I started in what was TTL back in the day. December 2017 was when I had my first round, and I believe it was the Belgian Grand Prix, and you couldn't imagine my nerves at the time then. I still get nerves every time I start a stream, so it's the way it is for me. But I've been given the opportunity to commentate over hundreds of races, be it on a Thursday, be it a Tuesday, whether it's Esports Masters League or iterations before that. So I want to say a huge thank you to everyone behind the scenes, because none of this is possible without them, and the amount of preparation that goes into just hosting a race every single week with all the Discord, 5 divisions as well, is just a titanic effort from everyone on board. So thank you so much for everyone for your support over the last 3 years. I feel it's the right time for me to sort of step aside and let somebody else take the reins, which I assume James is going to take the reins. I mean, he is a lead commentator starting next season, so I assume he's the one taking the reins. But yeah, a big thank you to Mays for that continued lead support over the last 3 years, for Dan Morris as well for convincing everybody else that I need to be the lead commentator. I don't know how you got convinced, man. I guess a couple of pints were on your way. But also to James alongside me, to Andy, who was a long-time commentary partner with me in TTL, and of course to Tom behind the scenes. I mean, without those three entirely, League Racing TV wouldn't be where it is today. There's plenty of talent behind the scenes as well, as we've grown over the last 3 years. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be part of that effort next season to try and get 1,000 subscribers, but maybe we could get as close as we possibly can. But that's the soppy bit done, so we can focus now on the British Grand Prix next time out. So if you are enjoying this one and you do want to tune into Silverstone next week, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time League Racing TV goes live. Please take care of yourselves out there in this crazy, crazy world we live in right now, and hopefully you're on the great side and taking care of yourself. But as always, I hope to see you again next time. We hope to see you again next time at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Until then, I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.